a few guidelines before we get into it. So please do keep your microphones and cameras off unless we're asking questions. The event is being recorded, so behave yourselves. That's more for me than for you, though. And then please do wait until the end of a segment before asking questions. So we have several things that we're going to get through. And then just give our speakers a little bit of time to get through what they're saying, and then we'll allow for some questions. All right. Our schedule for today, which I think is going to be slightly altered towards the end, but we have our department head giving us a welcome back and an update. We will talk about our B Researchers program, our B Stars program, our fall undergraduate TA positions, our upcoming spring events, which are for all students involved. So that's going to be graduate, undergraduate, everybody. And I believe we are trying to get the GSA. I think they will have a spot at the end too to announce some of the things that they will be doing this semester. So that is our schedule, and we'll go ahead and get started with our welcome and updates with Dr. Prasad. So I will stop sharing so we can see Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, Dr. Porter. And as echoing his welcome, I want to say welcome back to the spring semester. I hope you're all excited to kick off classes next week on Tuesday. We do have the MLK Day on Monday. And yes, the university has some programming, and if any of you are interested, you can participate in those. But welcome back. Excited to have you all back. The big thing, especially if you're an undergraduate student, is, are you registered in classes? I mean, are you in the classes you need to be in, and so on and so forth. And I know at the beginning of every semester, it's the crunch time, and the professional advisors who work very hard to get you into classes. Probably there is some delay and latency in terms of you getting responses and so on. So continue working with them because they are the ones who have to get you into the classes. However, I do want to let all of you know that the department and its faculty are all available as faculty advisors, which are basically non-professional advisors. So that means we can't get you into classes, we can't waive prerequisites, we can't do all of that. But what we can do if you reach out to us is, hey, I'm going to be taking this class. What is this content looking like? These are the choice of electives I have. So which elective will work in the context of my interest? So those are the kinds of questions we can help answer. Career trajectory questions we can help answer, internship kinds of questions we can help answer, and hopefully that will give you a better insight into the courses that are there in your degree plan, and as you figure out whether a particular class makes sense for you or not. This is where we can be of extreme help to you because we end up teaching all these classes. So we have a good understanding of how content in one class fits with another class and how these things all come together. So this is where faculty advisors are great. When you reach out to faculty advisor, at least for this semester, you could always copy Dr. Porter in the email as well. We'll do our best, to get you responses by next academic year. We'll have it more organized so that we can continue to help and serve you better because you are here with us. We want you to succeed, and we want you to have the best possible experience, academic experience that sets you on the course of what you want to achieve as you go through the bioengineering department and the program, and you go on to the next. For the graduate students on the call, welcome back. There's a lot of graduate activity that's happening this semester, and I hope you're working with your BMEN GSA, to participate. And those of you who have PhD examining, good luck. I know we are still a little ways off, but we are here as usual in the department to help you as you navigate through your various questions that you do. So with that, I'll turn it back to Dr. Porter. Welcome back. And we are here to help you figure out what needs to be done and have a wonderful spring semester.
Excellent. Thank you. I would say one of the nice things, if you all include me on those emails about the questions, if there are trends that we see or just a lot of the same question, we might be able to send out just a mass email and kind of address that. So that's another benefit of just kind of filtering it through us. Not filtering, that's the wrong word, not filtering, but including us. Because we're not keeping things away from our advisors by any means, but including us on that. If we do see the common questions, we can help organize it and get you those answers. And one other thing I've recently heard is if you've emailed them like 3 months ago and haven't heard an answer, be sure you email them again, because these two tend to get kind of buried a little bit. So if you emailed them last semester, haven't heard anything, it might be worth a little reminder to them. Okay. All right. Next we have, for the very briefest of sharing of my slides here, Dr. Betsy Willis, our Director of Operations, is going to talk about our BE Researchers Program. She has Varun Gunda and Nicole Huning, sorry, with us, who are current researchers, to answer questions about the program. So, Dr. Willis, turn it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. So I am excited to talk about the BE Researchers Program with you today. This is something we started last semester, and the idea for this program is to encourage undergraduate research in our faculty members' labs. So the program provides students who are engaged in undergraduate research with a $1,000 stipend at the conclusion of a semester. And throughout that semester, students are engaged in research within one of the bioengineering faculty members' labs. So today we have Varun and Nicole, who we've invited to share their experiences. They were BE researchers last fall, and they were selected to be a BE researcher in the spring. Students can do this for multiple terms. So just to tell you a little bit about each of them, and then I'll let them share more about their experience and field any questions that you might have. So Varun is in Dr. Prasad's lab, and last semester he was working on a biosensor, I believe for UTI infections. He had the opportunity to present his research at the BMES National Conference down in San Antonio. He participated in our department's undergraduate research competition, where he won first place, and will be presenting his work this spring at the NCUR, National Conference for Undergraduate Researchers. He's been working on at least 2 publications, and he works very closely with one of the PhD students in Dr. Prasad's lab, so he can share a little bit about that mentorship process. Nicole is a student working in Dr. Farizzi's lab, specifically on colorectal cancer, and has completed some mechanical testing of tissues. She also had the opportunity to travel to San Antonio and present her research at BMES. So with that, I invite Varun and Nicole to turn on your cameras, and if you will each spend a few minutes sharing a little bit about your experience. Varun, since I see you popped up right here, let's start with you first, and then Nicole will switch to you in a minute.
Yeah, sure. So I actually joined this lab at the beginning of last January. And since then, we've been working on multiple projects. And since last semester, after I was selected as a BE Research Scholar, I've been working on a project to develop a biosensor for urinary tract infection. And most of my work last semester involved designing and fabricating the sensor. So I worked with my PhD student with the PhD student, and together we would like work to design and actually create our sensor, and we would optimize the protocols on how we would do that. And that's pretty much what took up most of the time for last semester. And this semester we're actually we've already like finalized the design and everything, and we're gonna be running a lot of experiments on that. And being a part of the BE Researchers program has given me like a lot of structure in terms of like how I conduct my research, what I'll be doing at the end of the semester, and where I'll be presenting for conferences and things like that. So it's been a really great experience so far.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Nicole, do you want to share a little bit about your experiences?
Yes. So I started in my lab in October of 2 Octobers ago. And then went through and was doing work over the summer and then this past semester as well. And I was finding the stiffness values of colorectal cancer. So that was mainly of testing it and then analyzing it and reviewing all of the properties of it. And so that way you're able to develop cell cultures on something that more mimics the activity or the environment that the cells are going to actually experience inside of the body. And then more of this last semester, I've started working on histology, where to find out why we're seeing the stiffness values that we're seeing based off of the collagen that's present inside of it. And so, as Varun said, it's been great to be able to work on it, and I've enjoyed it.
Thank you. I invite anyone in the audience to ask a question. You can use the chat function or raise your hand. While we're waiting for those questions to come in, I'm going to ask Varun and Nicole, what got you interested in pursuing research as an undergrad student?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. So actually for me, um, I I was before I'm currently a bioengineering major, but before I used to be a neuroscience major. So I actually got involved with research because I wanted to figure out if I really liked bioengineering or not enough to switch majors for it. And I was really considering it. So I thought the best way to do that would be to actually join a lab and do the research. And honestly, like after I joined, I like enjoyed the work so much that like it eventually convinced me to fully switch majors to to bioengineering. So yeah, I guess just I also like read a lot of the papers that our lab published before, and like I really liked the impact that they had. So that's what really got me interested to like be a part of this lab.
Thank you. Nicole, how about you?
So going into college, I knew that I was gonna want to do something in research during my career because I like exploring things and learning new things. So I knew that I wanted to do that. And for this lab in particular, I took statics with Dr. Fruzi, and I liked it a lot. And so I asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, you can come see what it's like." And then I joined.
Excellent. So as you can see, our faculty in bioengineering are very approachable. So as you take courses, just like Nicole did, and as you get curious about different faculty members' research, as Varun did, feel free to reach out to our faculty and ask if they have any opportunities for you to join as an undergraduate student to conduct research. So we do have a question in the chat about how do we sign up for this program. So every semester we have an application process, and that application announcement is made through all of our social media channels. So make sure that you have joined those channels and follow our feeds, because that will let you know when applications open up. The application is a pretty simple one. We ask a little bit about yourself. We ask you to submit a grid of your schedule and when you have time blocks to do research. Because I think, as Varun and Nicole would both tell you, you do need significant blocks of time in your day. You can't just hop into the lab for 30 to 60 minutes and do a few things and then go to class. You do need several hour time blocks. So we look for a time commitment of about 10 hours per week. And your faculty member may have a different expectation or different desire for that. So be sure you're in communication with him or her. But first step would be to find a lab that you want to do research in and get the okay from the faculty member. And then second step would be to watch social media for announcements about the opening of applications. So we will take applications later this spring for next fall. With regard to undergrad research, so we have this program where you get a $1,000 stipend if you're selected. You can also enroll for research credit hours. So these credit hours can fulfill some of your advanced electives. So you can take an individual study course to fulfill some of your degree requirements as well. I'm going to continue to watch for other questions. Varun and Nicole, I'm going to ask you first this time. Tell us a little bit about your experience presenting at BMES. Was it scary? Was it exciting? What was the best part, the worst part? Any thing that you learned at the conference that you'd like to share?
I really enjoyed it. The presentations weren't really that intimidating because I had done one with UTD during the summer. So I kind of known what the poster presentation was going to be like. And then it was really, the people who came were really nice. And they were just there to learn. And then it was also really cool because they had a lot of booths there of other schools that I could go and see what the other schools are offering, what types of bioengineering they have, and everything like that.
Yeah, so for those of you who have not been to BMES, there is a big exhibit hall where universities have booths, and we have one for our department as well. And the purpose of that is to recruit faculty and then recruit graduate students. So Varun, how about you? Share a little bit about your experience at BMES.
Yeah, for BMES, I was actually a lot more nervous about going to BMES because it was my first time actually doing a poster presentation. And the thing was before I actually went, like I practiced a lot, but when I actually went there, I realized like a lot of people like and that I was talking to didn't know a lot about like bioengineering, and many of the people were from like very different fields. So I had to like I had to learn how to present the information in a way that would like no matter who you are, you would be able to understand like what that is. And I think that was that me learning that and how to do that was probably one of the coolest things there. And I also really liked all the booths and stuff with there was a research from a lot of different universities. And once your poster session was done, you had the opportunity to go walk around, look at what other people were doing in the bioengineering space and all the research that they were doing. And a lot of the people that came up to my poster and asked me about it were very nice. So that was a lot of fun.
Excellent, thank you. Well, I know we are coming to the close of our time for this section of our program today, but Varun and Nicole, any additional words of wisdom or encouragement that you would share with other undergraduate students?
I would say just don't be intimidated by the professors. They're all real nice. So if you just want to join research, then just ask.
Okay, thank you. Varun, how about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that advice. So like if you are interested in research, like be sure to reach out to the professors in the department. They're all very friendly, and they really do want to help you like get research experience as well. And you can learn a lot about bioengineering research that way as well. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
All right, thank you. Well, at this point, I will turn the program back over to Dr. Porter for our next segment, also on undergraduate research and a nice, easy way to apply and get into it.
Awesome, thank you. And so I'm actually going to alter the schedule just a tiny bit. And we are going to include Hannah Hudgens next. So again, I'll share my slide for just the briefest moment. So Hannah Hudgens, our assistant media coordinator, I wanted to give her a chance to speak, and she has to leave at 11. So I wanted to go ahead and squeeze her in here now. So Hannah, welcome, and feel free to join on.
Oh, hi guys. Sorry, I'm gonna be quick. I'm gonna pop a link in the chat. This is to our Linktree account. You're going to be able to go through it. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms. But I just wanted to plug, if you're not following us, it's very important to follow us. We send out reminders for upcoming events, application deadlines. We do student stories. And if you do get into research, or you do go to a conference, or you have a story that you want to share, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to share it on our social media platforms. But yeah, the link, please click it. If you're not following, follow us. I think that's all I needed to do.
Awesome. And I will say this from a LinkedIn side for giving yourself material that you can share online and kind of self-promoting a little bit. If you can link back to a post that Hannah put up about you, that's fantastic. So definitely let her know about papers, about any awards, anything like that. Because then we can write about you, and then you can be like, hey, look at me, I did awesome. And we'll be like, yes, you did. So we want to see that. You want to see that. It's a good thing. All right. Thank you, Hannah.
Internships, Dr. Porter. Let's talk about featuring people with internships. Let's
yes,
talk
I
about
would
that
love
too.
to get
Yes,
that.
absolutely. Internships, any awards, any presentations that you do, anything like that. We want to hear about it all. So yes, please let us know, especially a good point on the internships. Thank you. All right. So now we will go back, and I'll actually keep my slides up for a moment. So next, we want to talk about our B-STARS program. This is our summer training and research scholars. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this, then we'll have Nicole back on it. But first, let's do a little bit give a little bit of an overview. So if you wanted to know more, we did do a talk in early January that you can go view. So I sent out that link before. You can view it again. If you need it, let me know. You can also visit our BSTARS webpage. You can get through it through the undergraduate part on our webpage. But basically, this is our summer REU, though technically not an REU, it's our summer research program. It runs from May 22nd through July 28th, so that's 10 weeks. It is intense research, where we also like to emphasize your skill development, exploration of biomedical engineering. We definitely try to build a cohort so that you get to know each other, and we try to help prepare you for graduate school. So you do get your own piece of a project. And you have the guidance of a graduate student mentor, of which we do have a couple online who were with us last year. And you also work under the mentorship of the faculty, the PI, the primary investigator who's in charge of the lab. Now, our students, graduate students do go through a mentorship program. So for our graduate students online, if you are interested in trying to do that this summer, please do let your PI know so they can keep you in mind. And when the time comes, maybe they can assign you to that. It comes for the scholars with a $6,000 stipend that is spread out over the summer. So that's over the course of the 3 months. That's $6,000. That's supposed to cover your food, your housing, anything else that you might need. And then $500 for your research expenses. So if you need reagents or anything else like that, that's what that will help you cover. In addition to the actual research that you're going to be doing, which you'll be doing a lot of, we will have weekly faculty lunches and lab tours, so you can get to know the other research that's going on here on campus and what other things are going on in biomedical engineering. We will have social hours, which are quite fun. You can see a picture of one up there in our top right-hand corner. We like to do trivia, so that comes up a bit. And then we also have Q&As with our graduate students. So that's what you can learn more about applying to graduate school, what it's like if you go do doctoral studies or anything like that. And then we wrap it all up with a poster presentation on what will be July 28th this year with our UTD Summer Platform for Undergraduate Research, or our SPUR. So this is a campus-wide poster presentation. Last year, I think we had about 200 undergraduates who participated in this. There are awards given, so the posters are judged, and the best posters do have a chance to get a $200 award for their work. And it's another great thing that you can put on your resume, and a great experience to actually have done a poster presentation. So having said all that, I'll say that the applications are due in about 2 weeks, January 31st. So if you are interested in this, make sure you get on that, and make sure that you let your recommenders know early, because you need 2 people to give you recommendations. All right, so Nicole, I'm going to invite you back, and we'll ask you a few more questions about this. And I'll turn this off so we can see you. Hello. Okay. So you've mentioned before the BE Researchers Program that you have been already doing research for a couple of years with Dr. Ferruzzi. So why did you apply to the REU program?
So the REU program makes it so that you just spend a whole bunch of time doing research, which is nice, because even during the semesters while I was doing research, I wasn't doing it full time because I had school and everything. So it's a good chance to do your research without the distraction of school and everything and get a lot done.
Awesome. So could you tell us a little bit about the day-to-day activities that you were going through over the summer?
So over the summer, I was doing a lot of mechanical testing. So one day would be pretty much fully that, and then another day would be like analyzing. And then that pretty much just flip-flopped back and forth.
Okay, so you got a good experience with both the actual hands-on and the data analysis side of things.
Yes.
And then the actual kind of presenting, so the wrapping it up and summarizing it. Were you involved in the concept of coming up with the research?
Sort of. We got asked from UT Southwestern pretty much for us to do this, because we had done mechanical testing in our lab before with pancreatic tissue on mice. And so then our collaborators at UT Southwestern wanted us to do it on the human colon tissue. And so I was tasked with that project of testing it.
Cool. And so what kind of skills would you think that you've taken away from, well, it's hard to separate it out from all the other skills that you've learned in the years that you've been there, but what skills would you say you've learned while in Dr. Feruzzi's labs that you've come away with and that you can talk about, just kind of saying, yes, these are things I can do now?
I have learned MATLAB more with what to do with that. There's still more to grow, but as with any language, that's the case. Of course, the machine that I use to do the mechanical testing, and then not entirely during the summer, but the histology work that I've been doing the last semester. That's a big one that I can say that I know how to do now.
That's awesome. So with histology, really quick, because I'm not sure everybody knows what that is, could you give a brief description of that one?
Yes. So whenever you'll see like really zoomed in images of like actual cells, those are little slices of tissue, and then made it so that you can look at it in 2D and see like the inside of the tissue, I guess.
Well, and so it doesn't like go bad while it's on the slide or anything like that.
Right, it doesn't.
Good. So you've gotten wet lab and well, I just totally forgot what it's called. I'm going to say dry lab, even though I know it's not right, but all kinds of experience, like all over the place. It's pretty cool. Okay. So for the summer program, what would you say was your favorite part of the experience?
I don't know. It was all
Should have warned
great.
you on that one first. Sorry.
I liked the social things. Those were fun. All the trivia nights. Those were good, but it was all great.
Do you have any advice for anybody who might be interested in applying, who might be online now?
Just so like with mine, I just continued in the lab. So if it seems like that's something you want to do, just ask your PI if they'll accept you, which I'm sure that they will because they love you doing research. So just try it.
So related to that, did people who have not done any research at all before in a lab, did you see any students like that in the RU as well?
Yes, there were a lot of those, especially because it was like half UTD students, half people from other places, I'm pretty sure. So all of those people, of course, were doing it for the first time, and I think that they enjoyed it as well. And it's a great way to like get yourself into a lab, because a lot of the people who were from UTD, who this was their first lab, they continued into it.
Thank you. And so let me ask, does anybody out there have any questions for Nicole or myself regarding the STAR program? See, I should have saved a question to ask you while I was doing this. I mistimed this. This was my bad. All right. Well, thank you, Nicole. If you don't mind hanging around till the end, that way, if anybody does have any questions, we can go ahead and loop you back in. Oh, there's one. Oh, good question. How do students apply? So that one's probably more for me. But if you go on our website, and I'll put the link in a second, to our, and what is the deadline for applying? So the deadline is January 31st. And you apply by going to the Undergraduate BE website. And there is a link on the right that says the BE STARS program. And then you apply at the bottom of that using a Qualtrics form. And as I said, I'll pop that link in the chat here in just a second. All right, well, not seeing any other questions. We'll move back, and I'm actually going to pass it back to Dr. Willis, who is going to talk with us now about our fall undergraduate teaching assistants and that program.
Okay, thank you. So this year, starting in fall of 22, we started employing some undergraduate teaching assistants for our freshman level courses. So in the fall, we had undergraduate students who served in a role of a teaching assistant for BMEN 1100, our introductory class, and then also BMEN 1300, which is a new course as of fall, and it's a computer programming course. So our undergraduate teaching assistants helped our regular graduate student teaching assistants in the classroom, and they also assisted the faculty. So in both of those courses, students are doing a lot of hands-on work. There's a lot of in-class project-based work. So if you think back to when you took your first programming course, you had questions as you're trying to code, and why isn't my code compiling? Or when you were in 1100 trying to run an experiment, what do I do next? What happened here? So the undergraduate teaching assistants have taken these courses and are there to assist and help answer questions. So this provides our undergraduate students with more one-on-one attention in the classroom. This also allows our faculty and graduate teaching assistants to focus on course content and on grading of student assignments. So this spring, we have undergraduate TAs for BMEN 1300, the computing class, and BMEN 1208. So again, those students will be in the classroom assisting the faculty and the graduate student teaching assistants with the courses and the hands-on work. So in the fall, looking towards fall 23, this is a program we look to continue. We will be launching an application process in March as you start to sign up for your fall classes. So if you are interested in this program and applying, please watch our social media feeds. We'll be announcing the opening of those applications. Our undergraduate TAs work approximately 10 hours per week and are paid as student workers. So it is, you are financially rewarded for this experience. Plus, it is a great experience to have as you move through your undergraduate curriculum to give back to younger students, and also something good to put on your resume. So if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to entertain those.
You probably already mentioned this, but how would the students apply?
There will be an application, and that'll be launched. The link to that and the announcement of that will be launched on social media in March.
Well, I don't see any immediate questions, but we'll loop back around during the Q&A at the end. So thank you, Dr. Willis. All right, so next we are going to talk about the spring bioengineering events, and then we will talk with the Graduate Student Association. So, but first, our spring bioengineering events. Now, I saw two members of our Industry Advisory Council, or our Industry Council from BMES, Arwa and Akila. Did you want to talk about this, or would you like me to? Put me on the spot.
I can talk about the career fair prep series.
Awesome. Okay. So as I said, Akila is on the industry board for BMES, who are helping to put together much of these activities. And although it's for, well, BMES is for everyone, so all of these activities are also for everyone. So undergraduate, graduate student, everyone's welcome. But okay, Akila, please start talking so I can stop.
Yes. Unfortunately, my webcam is not working today, but yeah, so I'm part of the industry committee on BMES, and I just, if you guys have been, if anyone on here has been thinking about joining BMES, I would highly encourage you to do so. It's a great way to make friends, meet people in the bioengineering community, because sometimes in a specialized degree, I feel like it's hard to branch out and make new friends and learn about the events going on. So I would highly recommend that. And you get to learn more about events such as these ones and other parts as education, research, things like that. So I would highly recommend joining. So for the career fair prep series, this is kind of just like a buildup of events that the industry committee likes to do, plan with Dr. Porter before the career fair. And we're doing a career fair in the spring again. We did one last fall and it was a success, and we got a lot of feedback about another one in the spring. So we'll be doing that at the end of February. So for these events, they will always land on Fridays at 11 a.m. and they will all be located, or the first 3 will be located in SLC, and the last Career Fair Prep Series, the time is still TBD, but it's located in the BSB BE Suite. So the first one, if you want to learn more about LinkedIn etiquette and getting tips and tricks on how to get your profile ready for recruiters and engage recruiter eyes, this would be a great event to attend. The second event, Interviewing 101, if you are a first-time interviewer, you don't have much experience with the basics of what you need to expect in an interview, how to prep for an interview, this would be a great event for you to attend. And the follow-up to that is the Better Interviewing Career Fair Prep event, which is where you can practice your elevator pitch with everyone in this event, learn about the do's and don'ts of interviewing, and get feedback on how you're interviewing and interviewing etiquette. And then the last event, right before the career fair, will be the mock interview day, where you can actively interview, practice interviewing, and build your confidence in your interviewing skills.
Yeah, and so the intent on the mock interview day is we'll try to bring in actual recruiters that you can practice with. So you'll be getting feedback from actual recruiters who would be holding the interview like you would expect if you were interviewing for the job, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's also part of the reason that's TBD is because that will be by appointment, just to make life a lot easier for everyone on that one. All right, that's not all. Okay, do you want to take this one too?
I can go over this one.
Okay.
My name's Aram, also on the industry committee with Aquila. And the next few events we have is the industry days and the career fair. So we're having the Intertech Industry Day on February 6th at 4 p.m. This one's going to be virtual through Microsoft Teams. It's a very great opportunity for a career with Intertech. You can hear from the employers or recruiters and learn more about the company and what they're looking for. And then our next event will be the career fair. We're calling it Evergreen Career Fair because it's in the spring. So this is the event that everyone's going to be looking for. There's going to be companies that you can talk to, and then hopefully maybe get an internship or a job with one of the companies. This event is going to be on February 24 at 10 a.m. In the ECS West Main Atrium area. And then our last event would be making the most of summer. And then we will be discussing activities and practices that you can do to make the most out of your summer. And this one would be on March 31st at 11 a.m. also in SLC.
Excellent. And so on the career fair also, it's not that it's just necessarily at 10 a.m. It's going to be from 10 to 3. So it'll be over a 5-hour span. And like the last one, you don't need to be there for the full 5 hours. It's a come and go event. And these are the recruiters who typically recruit all year round or recruiting specifically for the summer and fall. Excellent, thank you. And so we are currently, we being the industry committee and myself are also still working on organizing more industry days. And you can think of industry days almost like mini career fairs, but with a single company. So they'll get up, they'll talk to us about what they do, what they're looking for, everything like that. And then you have a chance where you can ask them questions and kind of get some face time and get a lot more specific with them. All right, and there is one more event that I snuck in here because I just remembered it earlier. Quenching Curiosity, which I'm sure I've talked about and sent emails to everyone before, but I'll cap it again. It's not a bioengineering event, but it is featuring a bioengineering faculty. It is next Wednesday. It is at the Northside Draft House at 7 p.m. You do not have to be 21 to be there. You can still go in and eat and drink soda or whatever it is you like, or just attend. But it is a research outreach program where we bring researchers and experts to Northside Draft House, and they talk about their work in layman's terms. So this time we have Dr. Dave Dingle, who, if you will remember, recently won our faculty 3-minute thesis competition versus, BE, ECE last semester. We'll try not to brag about that too bad. But it should be a really good presentation. So he's going to go into a little bit more detail on his work. We'll give him some more time, and it should be fun. We also have some science trivia, so we keep it interesting. So hopefully we'll see you there next Wednesday. So come support our faculty, right? All right. And I believe that's it for our events. So our final speaker is going to be Heritier Adam with the GSA. So welcome, Heritier.
Hi, everyone. And as Dr. Porter said, my name is Adam. I go by Adam, usually not Heritier.
Sorry.
And because it's pretty hard for a lot of people to pronounce. I am the president of the Graduate Student Association for the Biomedical Engineering Department. And a few of the stuff that we did in the past semester as I took over, we set ourselves goals that we're going to be focusing on a lot of leadership, and we're going to be serving the community, serving UTD, and so on. And we participated in a few volunteering activities, and we're invited at a few places where we had to go speak, we had to go talk. Most importantly, when it comes to service aspect of things, a few of our members were involved into, they made an intentional move toward mentoring and working with undergraduate researcher in the labs. And personally, I was working with 2 students in the lab, and the mentorship, as much as they benefit from it, I also benefit from that mentorship, because depending on everyone's career after grad school, whether you are a PhD student or a master's, mostly for mentorship part, they were mostly PhD students, where majority or a lot of people want to be PIs and they want to lead their own labs in the future. This type of interaction with undergraduate researcher, it puts you in a space where you are almost a project manager, because you are working with the students directly, and you are addressing all their problems. They have tons of questions, and you get to answer those questions in detail. And not just that, you help them build their resume, for example. You help them prepare for conferences. You help them know what to say and when to say it, and so on. And personally, the way I was doing it, we had even our undergrads giving presentation in our lab meetings and showing what they've done on their own, and so on, and give them a lot of responsibility on a project that's they actually lead in, and so on. So that is a few of the advantages of that program that we have as the Graduate Student Association. Apart from that, we had events, a social event where we have game nights, and we also had a Friendsgiving event. And on the game nights, we usually just play game. I think we brought Jenga last time. We did rock, paper, scissors, and we gave a prize at the end. So it's just a time where we get to be away from all the research and away from all the complicated aspects of our lives, and just be human and hang out, meet people, and try to have conversation. We also participate in a lot of events that the department organize, and we help just encourage students to be a part of the leadership within the department. And this semester, we also, last semester, we also had a panel for industry, for industry partners and different alumni who went to UTD and then graduated and now in the industry. So we had them come here and just have conversation of students. And that also is a great part. The other thing that we had was outreach. We believe in the GSA, we believe that we should be able to impact the community outside of UTD, and that is high schools and middle schools. So we participated in the middle school. We had conversations with middle school kids, and also even some of our members had conversations with high school kids as well, looking at, okay, is bioengineering the right fit for me, or why, and what do we do? Because it's still a question out there, where what is bioengineering and what is why should I be a bioengineer versus any other aspect of fields in engineering, and how is it different from like biology and so on. So you tend to answer those questions. We give you that opportunity. It also opens up as a graduate student, it opens you up to public speaking and also just interaction. It's a lot of skills that you gain by getting involved with the Graduate Student Association. So we are hoping that this semester as well, we continue and we even try to do even more toward the school, as a lot of people are now transitioning. The fall semester is still the beginning of the year for like senior students in high school, for example, or even like undergrads who just got here and so on. But in the spring semester, people tend to be transitioning now into, okay, what do I do next year and so on. So we are hoping that even for our master's students, people who are graduating, we're hoping to be hosting events that's going to be industry related, more with the an interaction more with the corporate world this semester. We are also hoping to have more social events where people just come. It's a very informal events where we just come and hang out and make some noise if people like making noise and so on, and just have a good time as we go through grad school. For any questions, you can always send me an email through my UTD email. My full name is Héritier Adam. So you can reach out to me at any time or any of our officers. You can check out our Instagram page on BMEN GSA, UTD BMEN GSA. And with that, we usually post a lot of our events, anything that's upcoming. We also work a lot with Hannah. She's been very helpful in putting the word out for us. Yeah, and if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so that takes us to the end of all of our scheduled updates. I'm going to circle back around, and feel free to ask questions. Please go ahead and type them, or you can raise your hand and we'll call on you that way. But while I'm waiting for anyone to populate the messages, I wanted to ask Dr. Prasad if she had any last minute things that she wanted to add on, or any comments or thoughts.
Sure. Thank you, Ben, and thank you all the participants, right? So thank you for showcasing our department. Thank you for talking about all the various student experiences we can have and how together with all these diverse and strong experiences, you can have a very strong and highly impactful degree and time here at UTD. So a couple of things I did want to mention is, one, if you are in doubt, please reach out, right? Reach out to the department. Dr. Betsy Willis, Ben Porter, any of our faculty, especially when it's student-related advising questions, if you're reaching out to us faculty, ensure you're copying Dr. Porter. As he said, what we are trying to do is, if we see a theme, we see a same set of questions coming, you all get Dr. Porter's emails, and I'm hoping you're reading. He's trying very hard to make it nice and interesting. So he will essentially answer it so that all of you get it. And this will allow us to have that dialogue going. We understand your frustration as you go through enrollment. Advising, really, the advisors, they're not as many of them as they need to be. It's not because we are not trying. We're all trying. Our dean is focusing on this. All my colleagues, the other department heads, we all understand this. So we are all in this together, and we care about your experience. So we will work together to make this better. While that professional advising is a work in progress, from the department will continue to help you as you navigate through questions that you will automatically have for various things. Explore the various facets that bioengineering offers. So any wholesome bioengineering experience generally requires you to have an internship or an externship opportunity, to do a research experience, and perhaps do a study abroad. All of these together, our dean speaks of these as well. All of these together give you a holistic view of what a bioengineering degree could be. Ultimately, that will help you decide whether you want to go on and get a PhD, go to a professional school, get an MD, or whether you want to go to the industry. All of this is going to be the opportunity. No better way to learn but to learn here at UTD. So welcome, have a wonderful, wonderful semester, and I'm sure we'll see each other many more times since we have lots of on-campus activities. Come stop by the department, share a cup of tea, or maybe it is lemonade, and we'll see what we can do to help you. Back to you, Ben.
Thank you. And just to reemphasize, remember, I like to always say the degree is not enough. Absolutely is not enough. It's a good start, but all these other activities that Dr. Prasad mentions are what help you to get those jobs. So make sure you're taking advantage of what we're giving. you've already paid for it, so you might as well, right? But get those experiences. I have not seen any questions pop up, so I think we're good to call this a day. So thank you all for coming. Look forward to seeing you back in school on Tuesday when I will send that first update email with all of our activities coming up for the semester and everything. And have a great weekend and a holiday. So thank you all.
Thank you.